Race, ethnicity, culture. All of these are words that we hear on a regular basis. But what do they mean to us, especially as Americans? The cultural melting pot. Coming to college, there is a pressure to have a strong sense of identity. You are leaving the familiar setting of home and entering a world of new people of all different races and backgrounds. Here at Arcadia, there is a particular emphasis on becoming a global citizen. That is, having an understanding and respect for the world outside of our homes. But what races make us up are not always how we perceive ourselves. With all this talk about race, it is time to look at the core of the topic and ask, who do you think you are?
My name is Donna Kummer and I'm from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. I am German and Norwegian, but I personally associate more with being an American because I've lived in America my entire life and that's all I've really known. It's kind of embarrassing to say that I'm a German. At times, they're not very much smiled upon, so that's kind of annoying. But, I don't know. Norwegians aren't really known for much. I guess I'm just German, or I'm Norwegian and not necessarily proudly German, and I just kind of go on as me. I try not to let my nationality, or where my family came from, really define who I really am. But we don't really hold strongly to any one thing that really shows that we're German or Norwegian. We just we do a little bit of the really good food stuff that's from the area, but it's not really like, yeah. I personally chose to expand. I didn't feel like pressured, but I chose to try to expand my horizons and meet new races because I grew up in a mostly white small town, so I decided that I kind of wanted to go out and meet people of different races and different backgrounds and try to understand the world in a different light than what I grew up with. But I never really felt pressured. It was just kind of a personal decision, and I don't know, in my point of view, it just kind of, everybody hangs out with who they get along with best, and everybody's just happy that way.
I'm Liz Robbins. I'm from Corry, PA, which is 45 minutes outside of Erie, PA. I am Irish and Polish. I'm 20. My mom is Irish and German and Polish, and my dad is German and Swedish. I'm proud of some of my heritage. I'm very proud of my Irish heritage. I'm not very proud of my German heritage.
Is there a reason?
One of my grandpa's mom tended to be very German and anti-Semitic, and probably supported the people in World War II who weren't very good. I feel like I don't have an advantage, and maybe that puts me at a disadvantage because I don't have an advantage. Like, there are scholarships that you get if you're a certain thing, like if you're 50% Irish or something, and I'm not enough of anything to get any scholarships. So I have no special things to identify as. My mom tends to follow tradition more. She's 50% Irish, so she likes to eat like corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day, and I won't because I don't really like it. So she tends to be much more traditional than I am, but that's because her family, her grandparents came off the boat from Ireland, so they made her, and I didn't have to because I never met them.
My name's Julia Keck and I'm from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. I'm half Irish and a quarter Ukrainian and a quarter Polish. I used to feel really a strong connection to my Irish side for no particular reason, just because I felt like I looked more Irish, so I felt like that was the one I should connect with. But as I've grown up, I've gotten closer to my Ukrainian and Polish side of the family, so I'm starting to identify more with those characteristics. Really, the only thing I can say about my relationship to my races is I feel like I'm motivated to work harder, only because everyone in my family was immigrants or was discriminated against at some point in this country, so I feel I need to prove myself. I am Irish, Ukrainian, and Polish. I'm Mara O'Brien. I'm from Manchester, New Jersey, and I am Irish. I consider myself Irish, German, and it's possible that I'm English. I'm not sure. It's a family secret that I found out. I don't know who my grandfather is, so it's possible. Depends on who won the race. I do not feel like there are disadvantages or advantages to be in my race. I mean, I am what I am.
My name is Suzanne Sanchez, and I am from Philadelphia. I'm from the Germantown section. I am African American and Puerto Rican. I hate to say it, but I do feel like I identify closer with African Americans. Just because most of the time people peg me as African American rather than like biracial. I mean, sometimes they do, and the only time I really am with Spanish people is when I'm with my family. But with like my Puerto Rican side of the family, it's very family oriented. So it's really important that we're always together on holidays. But being mixed is kind of hard sometimes because I know people who, in my eyes, try to overcompensate for being one thing. Like I know black people or black Puerto Rican people who feel like they have to like speak Spanglish all the time and go out of their way to be like, I'm also Puerto Rican, or listen to music and everything. And I feel like my culture and my base just speaks for itself. Like I just don't think all that extra stuff is necessary. And when I'm trying to identify with like other Puerto Ricans, sometimes it's like, oh, you're not Puerto Rican, I get that joke all the time, like, you're not Puerto Rican enough, you don't know what that is, like, food and all that other stuff. Spanish food is my favorite. But whatever, that's what I say. And I think it's important that you can connect with your own race, but I don't think that you should only try to connect with only your race.
My name is Chrissy Park, and I am from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I identify with the ethnic background of Puerto Rican, French, Italian, and a little bit of Irish. It makes for kind of an interesting mixture of races. When I tell people that, they're like, you're Puerto Rican? You don't look Puerto Rican at all. People are actually really shocked. I'm like half Puerto Rican, which is kind of crazy. People like always think that like I'm Irish. Like I get that a lot. People are like always like, oh, you look like you're Irish. And I work part-time in an Italian restaurant, and this lady one day was like, oh, are you Italian? And I was like, yeah, I'm Italian. She's like, you don't even look Italian. She's like, you look like a little Irish girl. And I always laugh because I'm like, I'm only like a tiny bit Irish. We're not even really that much. I'm more Puerto Rican and French and Italian than I am Irish. I always laugh. People say that to me. That's funny. I sometimes ask myself, if I was I guess if I, identified as Puerto Rican, that maybe I would get more money from the government for schooling, I guess, maybe. But I guess I could claim it, technically, because we are half Puerto Rican, so I could, but I don't, because I don't know, I feel like people wouldn't believe me if I told people of, like, different races will, like, sort of, like, cling to each other and, like, be friends with that kind of race because they feel like they fit in with them better. But I don't know, I never did that. My family is not very heritage-like. And that's just been something that's bothered me, I guess, my whole life, is that we were never really, like, all about our heritage. Because I have a lot of friends that are, like, Italian or Irish, and, like, they celebrate all those holidays, and we don't really celebrate anything, except for, the normal holidays, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Cooney. I'm from Earth. I'm a human. I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. There's Irish and Italian, continental European stuff. I think there's Welsh in there too, but it's like a tiny fragment. I don't really consider myself any of those things. I'm from America. When it comes to like big family gatherings, I have a really big family, like cousins out the wazoo, and we always make like big ravioli and stuff, like not to be stereotypical, but you know, classic Italian food, and then other things too.
My full name is Joseph Francisco Senra, and I'm from Long Island, New York. My dad is Spanish and Portuguese, and my mom was Ecuadorian and African American and Chinese and Native American. And then I was born here. My dad was born in Portugal and my mom was born in Ecuador. So pretty much it's my bloodline, I guess. I don't really know anything about my culture, I guess. Yeah, other than like foods that my family makes, that's about it. I feel closer to my maternal side of the family. I don't know, just because like that's where we celebrate like all holidays and stuff. I usually go on my mom's side. So I guess I feel more associated and affiliated with like Ecuadorian side of my family, I guess.
I am Irish.
I am.
I am.
And I am what I am.